Hello guys and welcome back to a new video. In this video I'm going to cover how to solve one-step multiplication equations with negatives. Now when we solve one-step equations we want to isolate the variable first, which means get it by itself. Basically we want to undo whatever is being done to the variable, that way the variable is by itself on one side of the equation. We do this by using the inverse or opposite operation. Keep in mind, it is very important that whatever is done to one side of the equation, it must be done to the other. That keeps everything balanced and equal. Let's jump into number 1, where we have minus 9y equals 81. And again, I already made a video on how to solve one-step multiplication equations, but this one is with negatives. So I'm just going to tell you again, if there is a variable next to a number, it means we're multiplying. So this says minus 9 times something will equal 81. So let's do this step by step so we can get this down. So the first step we're going to take is we're going to isolate the variable. To isolate the variable, we're going to do the inverse or the opposite operation. We were given multiplication and the opposite of multiplication is division. So we're going to divide by 9. By minus 9, I mean. Minus 9 and divide this one also by minus 9. We do this because have to um, we have to isolate the variable. These two will cancel each other out. So now we're just left with our variable. Now we're gonna go to the second one, 81 divided by minus 9. Well, 81 divided by minus 9 will equal minus 9. And you may be wondering, how can it be a negative number if our final answer is a positive number? Well, if we check if our answer is correct and plug it in right here, minus 9, we will have minus 9 times minus 9. Minus times minus will equal a positive answer. So this tells us that our first answer is correct. Now let's go over to the second example. For our second example, we have minus 8b equals minus 48. So this means minus 8 times something will equal minus 48. So again, let's start isolating the variable. To do this, we're going to use the inverse again. So we're going to divide by minus 8. And of course, we have to do it on both sides. So these two will cancel each other out, so we are just left with our variable. Now, only thing we are left to do is minus 48 divided by minus 8. Minus 48 divided by minus 8 will be 6. It is a positive number because we are dividing a negative number with a negative number. So now again we can check this by plugging it in at our variable, and now we have minus 8 times 6. Negative number times a positive number, so we will have a negative final answer. So minus 8 times 6 is going to equal minus 48, so 6 is our final correct answer. Now let's go over to the third example where we have minus 12x equals 96. So again, we're gonna isolate the variable by inversing our operation. So we're gonna divide these two by minus 12. Minus 12. So these two again cancel each other out and we are just left with our variable. Now we just have to do 96 divided by minus 12. 96 divided by minus 12 will equal minus 8. Now we have a negative answer because our final answer, not our final answer, but our outcome is 96. A positive 96 because we are, if we plug this in right here, minus 8, we have a negative number times a negative number. So minus 12 times minus 8 will equal 96. So this will be our correct final answer. Now let's go over to our last example. For our last example, we have minus 5m equals minus 25. So again, we're gonna inverse our operation and isolate the variable. So we're gonna divide these two by minus 5. Minus 5. So now these two again cancel each other out, and we are left with our variable. Now minus 25 divided by minus 5 will equal 5. Because we are dividing a negative by a negative, we get a positive answer. Now we're going to plug this in to our variable. 5 times minus 5 will equal minus 25. So this tells us that we have the correct final answer. Now, this was basically the video, guys, on how to solve one-step multiplication equations with negatives. I hope you guys understand it, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. If you did enjoy the video, make sure to leave a like, um, hit the subscribe button, leave a question in the comments, and I will see you guys in the next one.